Philippines tonight condemning China for installing a floating barrier in the disputed South China Sea. And this comes as a new report details just how Chinese military ships are intimidating smaller foreign boats in that disputed water. The New York Times says in recent months, fishing boats from the Philippines are being met with bullhorns, water cannons in that area of the sea that the international community maintains does not belong to China. For more, we are joined by Jamil Jaffer, founder and executive director of the National Security Institute and former chief counsel to the Senate Foreign Relations Committee. Jamil, thank you so much for being here.
Absolutely. Thanks for having me, Natasha.
What do you make of these new reports? Big picture, is there a clear escalation that is happening with China and the Philippines and Taiwan?
Well, this is just another step in efforts the Chinese have made for decades and really amped up in the last 7-8 years. China's long had what they call the 9-dash line. It's a line that essentially suggests that China has sovereignty over all the islands in the South China Sea, including a number of islands in the Philippines exclusive economic zone, that of Vietnam, as well as that of Malaysia. They've long made this claim, but it's only in the last few years that they begin enforcing that claim, putting up these kind of barriers, and actually building in another area, the Spratly Islands, a set of artificial islands, which they've now militarized, about 7 islands, about 3,000 acres, Natasha.
Yeah, and big picture, what does the U.S. need to do to keep China in check as it eyes Taiwan in future months and these other areas like the South China Sea?
Well, to date, Natasha, what the United States has done is sailed American naval vessels through these areas, essentially demonstrating the freedom of navigation and demonstrating these are international waters and that our warships have the ability to go through there. The problem, of course, is that China continues to build these islands, continues to push our allies and partners out of the area. And as we look towards Taiwan, the Chinese know that we don't have the forces in the region today to respond effectively to a Chinese invasion. If we're going to get really serious about it, we've got to deploy forces forward now to have them ready in the area in the event of an invasion.
And Jamil, I want to turn to one more topic making headlines right now. The U.S. has stripped funding now from the Wuhan lab at the center of the COVID-19 pandemic, and a lot of speculation about what may or may not have leaked there. The reason for this, violating biosafety rules. Can I get your gut check response to this? I mean, shouldn't this have happened a long time ago? And why were we funding a Wuhan lab in the first place?
It's a great question, Natasha. We have funded these gain of function studies, which obviously are concerning because they're designed to increase the effectiveness of these viruses in an effort to try and build better defenses. Now, why we'd fund a lab in China, unclear. Why we'd fund and continue to fund a lab that had so many demonstrated safety violations over the years. American diplomats, long before the COVID breakout, had complained about it. We've long suspected that there was an unintentional, perhaps, breakout, unlikely intentional, but unintentional breakout from that lab. The idea that we continue to fund it to this date is kind of shocking.
Okay. Jamil Jaffer, always appreciate the context and time. Thank you so much.
Thanks, Natasha.